All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is my Tesla Model Y 2022. I've had this for 5 months now. I've loved the car. I want to talk about an accessory that's very important to have when you have these cars. Now, if you know this or not, Tesla does not provide any kind of spare tires with any of their cars. So it's important you have some kind of a source to be able to fix a flat tire if that ever happens. Now, I reference this because I also have a 2015 Tesla Model S. I had a flat tire in that, and I ran into kind of a sticky situation. So I was at a parking lot. I'd parked the car. I came out a few hours later. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm about 100 miles away from my house. I start driving away, and I get a low pressure light on the dash. I look at the PSI. It's like my tire's at 20 PSI, and I didn't know what to do. So I immediately pulled over to the nearest gas station that I could find. I inspected the tire. Come to find out, I had a big shard of metal all the way across the tire here, and it was leaking air pretty quickly. And then as I would drive, it would just get worse and worse. So I had to go to the convenience store, buy an overpriced bottle of Fix-A-Flat, and then I had to air up the tire while I was there. And thankfully, the Fix-A-Flat helped and maintained the air pressure. But had I not been able to get to an air source, I wouldn't have been able to use that, because the Fix-A-Flat's not going to inflate this tire. It'll put the sealant inside of the tire, but it's not going to really air the tire up. So you need some kind of an air source. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. This is the portable air charger, air compressor that you can get and keep in your Tesla. And this is a pretty cool little device. So this thing's compact, portable, and it's just battery powered, and it just runs off a USB cable. So you can see there's just a USB-C cable input right here. That's how you charge it. And then you can increase, decrease your PSI. You can change the mode, you turn it on. So real simple operation. It has a screw-on type of a air connector. So it just screws right onto your valve stem. It checks the pressure, so you get a pressure readout here. So to turn it on, we just turn on our power button here. 2 seconds, we hold that on. Powers up. And it's got a few different modes. So it starts off on car mode, and it kind of gives you a preset PSI. I have mine set at 43 PSI because this car needs 42 PSI in the tires, and then it's wintertime right now, and so I like to keep those tires at 43 because they do decrease with the cold weather. But if I want to change that, I just go to the plus and minus button right here. I can just increase that. It goes up to 50 PSI for car tires, which is going to be more than sufficient for really most vehicles. And if we change the mode, we can change it over to bike. Bike tires kind of give a little higher PSI. You can adjust that there. This next one here is like ATVs, motorcycles. That's up to 35. And then the last one is like sports balls. If you want to inflate a basketball, football, something like that, this will, it's already got a preset PSI, so 7 to 8 PSI, that's kind of the standard. So it's a really nice readout here. And then to turn it on, once you have your preset PSI all ready to go, you just hit the power button. Goes away. There's a little fan here, cooling fins on this side. And we even have a light on top here. Check this light on top. We hold down the mode light button right here. You just hold that down. And we get a nice little flashlight. So if you're out in the dark looking at your tires, that's a good way to do that. Let me show you how this works on the car. All right, so like I said, these two pieces of equipment are really what you want to keep in your car at all times. A Fix-A-Flat, especially because at a gas station, they're charging $15, $20 a bottle for this, and they're much cheaper on Amazon. So just get you one, put it in the car, and then get this little Vicmars air compressor to really keep your tires aired up. So if I'm going to go back to car mode here. Car mode, it saves my set PSI, which I really like, so that way it's always going to be on 43 PSI, so I can just take my valve stem off. Now the valve stem here is on the bottom, so even if it was on the top, you can just leave this sitting on the ground, and this will reach very easily. It'll sit on the ground, and it can reach to wherever the valve stem is. So right now, the PSI of the tires are 41.1. I have it set at 43, and I just hit the power button. That only took just it was only about 50 seconds for this to air up about 2 psi, just less than 2 psi on the tire here. So, you know, it's quiet, it's efficient. I can go through and check all my tires on this, and it can run for, you know, several minutes, and battery level will still be good. It does have a battery meter here. It has a 2 bar. 2 bar means it's between 50 and 100%. Once it drops to 1 bar, it's 50% and lower. So it does have good battery life. I do want to check. I want to test this out on how quickly it can air up a tire from completely low. So let's check that out. For our capacity test, this is my tire. This is my wheel from my Model S. This is the 21-inch wheel. Right now I have 19s on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the valve core. I'm going to remove all the air so that there's no pressure in here, and we're going to fill this up from 0 up to 42 psi. We want to see exactly how long that takes this little compressor to do that. The valve core is put back in the tire here, and I got my compressor on here. I want to set the psi to, let's do 42 psi. Now, as soon as I hook this in, it's going to read what the psi is of the tire here. I'm going to set my timer to see exactly how long this is going to take, and we'll see how long we can go from 0 to, and we'll see if it stays within the 50% battery range or if it drops below 50% in the battery range. There's the time that it took to reach 42 psi, 0 to 42 psi, 15 minutes, 42 seconds. I was actually impressed that this had enough battery to do that. I had filled up a couple of my tires with this, testing it out, and then filled this from 0 to 42 psi, running almost 16 minutes, and it has 1 bar left. So that means it's under 50% battery. So I don't know how much more battery it has, but I was actually really impressed that this actually had enough battery to fill this up to 42 psi. Here's everything you get in the box. You do get your warranty card, instruction manual. It comes with an accessories kit, an inflator if you want to just, you know, you're blowing something up, the Presta valve adapter, the sports ball adapter so you can blow up any sports balls. Here's the charging cord. One thing cool with this is the USB-C part is going to go into the inflator directly here on the side, and then you have USB A and C, so you can do either depending on the connection that you have. So you have that versatility there. I like that. This is almost 4 feet long, this cord here, so you have a good length of charging cord to reach quite a ways, so almost 4 feet. You have a nice little storage bag to keep all this in, and this is the box that it comes with. Let me show you where I keep this in the car and charge it in the car. Here in the trunk of my Model Y, this is where I keep this. This is my charging cables. I usually keep these under the trunk here, but I keep my accessories there, my charging cord in here. But back under here, I just kind of, as I was looking at places where I can charge this, there's actually a 12-volt socket right under here in the back, which I'm glad that Tesla does this. They finally are doing this with their cars. So just get a little outlet adapter, little 12-volt socket adapter, and we can just plug it in like that. And then I can keep this down. I can keep this down in this, I can keep it just down in this little pocket here, and when the car's on, it'll charge it up. Once it's fully charged back up, I can just take it out, put it back in the bag, and it's good to go, ready for the next tire check. The tire inflator is now charging. You want to make sure that the socket outlet that you use, this one says on it 2.4 amps. I tried another one, that didn't work, so you want to make sure there's at least has that kind of power output to be able to charge this up. This is a great accessory to have with your Tesla, or really any car that really doesn't have any kind of spare tire. But where I think this is most useful is just checking the PSI on a regular basis. You know, these cars, these electric cars, you know, the range is not usually as good as a gasoline car. So you want to get the maximum range out of your car, keeping your PSI, for this car is 42 PSI, keeping it at that PSI on a regular basis is going to help maximize not only the tire life, but the efficiency of the car and the battery, get maximum range out of it. So this little tool is nice to have. I don't have to get out the compressor. I don't have to string the cord around. It's charged up. It's ready to go. It's in the back. It's super easy just to check the pressure on these. and just top up the pressure on a regular basis, making sure that it's the right pressure all the time. So anyways, guys, see the link down below to this Vicmars tire inflator. Big shout out to Vicmars for partnering with us on the channel for this product. So be sure to leave your comments down below, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.